Every once in a while, a film arrives, not to impress you, but to remind you why you fell in love with cinema in the first place. Not because it's flawless, not because it's fashionable, but because it carries the fingerprints of a filmmaker who hasn't stopped loving the medium, even when the medium stopped loving him back. And for me, that film was Nishanchi.
खुद का गैंग बनाएंगे अब बबलू निशांची रंगीली रिंकू और डब्लू दिन आ दिन
There's a strange silence that follows an Anurag Kashyap release, a silence that doesn't exist for any of his contemporaries. Maybe it's because we boxed him into one film, one legacy, one word, Vasepur. Maybe it's because we expect every Kashyap story to taste like nostalgia, anger, and bullets. Or maybe we've simply forgotten how to meet a filmmaker where he is, instead of where we last left him. Kennedy taught us that lesson brutally, a standing ovation at Cannes and then complete disappearance. Buried not by criticism but by contracts. Held back not by the filmmaker but by corporation who view cinema as a line item. Profit first, culture later, if at all. Kashyap himself said he detached from the film. Years of carrying unreleased work had drained him. The fight wasn't worth fighting anymore. So when Nishanchi appeared, I did what any lifelong admirer of a man would do. I showed up. A theatre screening, a 3-hour runtime. Not much hype, just a film and the filmmaker behind it. And what I wasn't a perfect film, but it was something far rarer. A filmmaker writing a love letter to the Bollywood he grew up on.
को मुगले आजम खेलना है या हम आपके यहाँ कौन पिक्चर दोनों ब्लॉकबस्टर थी
Knowing fully well that the people he's writing to may never write back. The trailer had already done its job for me. The teaser, the music, film dekho, looping in my headphones for days, everything pointed toward a filmmaker having fun again. Inside the theater, I wasn't disappointed, not for a minute, but once again, the audience didn't show up the way they needed to. Just like Homebound, just like Jugnama, we feel a film that genuinely tried. Nishanchi works in a way that reminds you of the magic 90s commercial cinema, the houseful single screens, the unapologetic emotion, the songs you heard before you saw the movie. The album alone is one of the strongest in recent memory. Film dekho, Bhaga Bhaga ke marenge, Raja Hindustani, music that feels alive, playful, lovingly crafted. But what truly holds the film together is the cast. Aishwarya Thakre in his debut carries two entirely contrasting characters.
तुम जानते हो हम कितना प्यार करते हैं उससे 10 साल सजा काटे हम उसके लिए तुम्हारे लिए बेकार रिंकू रिंकू लगा रखा है आपने अम्मा के बारे में भी पूछो कभी कभी
And he does it with a confidence that feels earned, not inherited. It takes years for actors to reach that point. He reached that in one film. Monica Pawar playing a mother at 31 and somehow making it feel like the 90s Ma archetype had returned, just without the melodrama. Vedika Pinto, Kumar Mishra, Mohammad Zishan Ayub, Vineet Kumar. Every actor feels carefully chosen, fully trusted. The screenplay moves with surprising smoothness for its length. The cinematography by Sylvester Fonseca carries that signature Kashyap rawness. Handheld, human, never trying to impress, always trying to understand. And the editing by Aarti Bajaj. You can almost sense the original film was hours longer, but what remains feels deliberate, never rushed. But the biggest weight the film carries isn't on screen, it's shadow of Vasepur. Every time Kashyap makes something, we pull out that old measuring scale, as if the only valid version of him is the version that existed 13 years ago. But filmmakers evolve, they fracture, they grow, they fall out of love with their old selves. And while Nishanchi has generational arcs, revenge beats, and a world that feels lived in, it is not Vasepur and it was never trying to be. Okay, so was Nishanchi 2 really necessary? Short answer, no. This could have easily been one 3-hour film. It would have slapped even harder. But I also get why Nishanchi became a two-parter. Kashyap loves the world, he loves the characters. He loves that era of Bollywood and you can feel it in every frame. The issue is, this kind of split hurts finances. And right now, producers need box office reassurance before investing in different. Part 2 works in parts. It is not great, not terrible, just a decent watch that didn't need to exist. But as a whole, Nishanchi and Nishanchi 2, it's an experience, a throwback to the commercial Hindi cinema we stopped making. The fun kind, the loud kind, the unapologetic filmy kind, minus the cringe. Nishanchi is not Kashyap's finest work. It's not his tightest. It's not his sharpest, but it is something far more meaningful. A filmmaker choosing sincerity over safety, messiness over machinery, heart over hype. It is a reminder that commercial cinema doesn't have to be hollow. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be cynical. It can be tender, chaotic, flawed, and still be cinema worth showing up for. In a world where films increasingly feel engineered, Nishanchi feels made. So here's hoping Kashyap never stops trying, and here's hoping we, the audience, stop sleeping on films that take risks. Because cinema survives only as long as there are people who show up for it. And Nishanchi was definitely worth showing up for. And before I close this out, I have to say this. For a few of my issues with the second part, its climax, one of the best we have had in recent years. Kashyap builds chaos like he's composing music, and that final stretch reminds you why he's still one of the few filmmakers who understand emotional anarchy as an art form. If you like this video, click on that like button, comment down your thoughts below and subscribe to The Final Take because it's time we take cinema seriously.